7.3, proving. Now remember in chapter 4 we had to prove congruent triangles. Now we're proving triangles similar. However, there's no proof. So we can know that two triangles are similar if two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle. So we did not have any angle congruency, but we do have an angle similarity. So as long as we know two are congruent. So now looking at this is asking the two triangles similar. Well, it's already showing us that R and V. So R and V, I have to make sure that those two are in the same spot, are congruent. Now if I look at this, I also can see an X here. And with that X, I know that I have vertical angles. So now I have two angles congruent here too. So I want to make sure that angle WSR is in the same spot as BSV. So those two are the same. So yes, these two triangles are similar because of angle similarity. We also know, just because, to review, that this angle would be congruent to this angle by the third angle theorem. So I was asking for these two. Are these two congruent? Well, I can't just look at it. So 70 and 70 are congruent. So L and R are in the same location. Now I have to figure out what my third angle would be. So if I do 180, because the whole triangle is equal to 180, it doesn't matter. You could find angle P or K. 180 minus 30 minus 70, I would get 80 right here. 80 is not equal to 85. I could also check this last triangle or last angle and do 180, subtract 70, subtract 45, and get 65. So no, these two are not similar because they do not have two angles congruent. Here, are these two congruent? Well, there's a couple different things here. I really only have to figure out what one angle is. So remember, here are my two side lengths. So that means this angle is congruent to this angle because this is an isosceles triangle. This is also an isosceles triangle. So that means this angle is equal to this angle. I'm going to figure out what this angle is right here. Because if I know this angle and if it matches 62, that means I have more than one angle congruent. So if I do 68 plus angle X, all those angles are equal to 180, I get that this angle is equal to 44. So there's no way, so this angle is 44, there's no way, at least one of these have to be the same. These cannot be 68 because of the fact that this angle would have to be 44. So because angle X is 44, these are not similar. Nope, cry face. So now we have a side angle, side similarity. This is very important. So side angle side, but saying that the angle is congruent. The sides that include the angle are proportional. This is where you have to be careful. We also have side similarity. And that's when all the sides are proportional. So let's get into that. So can I prove that these two triangles are similar? So first I have to be able to look at the triangles. It's this triangle right here and this triangle right here, okay? So noticing already I have a side angle and side because this angle is for both. So I already know that my included angle is congruent. Now I have to look at my two sides. Are they proportional? So looking at this side, this whole side here is equal to 10. 8 plus 2 is 10. And this whole side here is equal to 15. So I want to see if they're proportional. So if they're proportional, that means 8 over 10, because those are the same. 8 over 10, because those are my two smaller lengths, should be equal to 12 over 15, because those are my two larger lengths. So here's the larger of my smaller triangle, and here's the larger of my larger triangle. So if I simplify both of these are divisible by 2, so this would be 4/5. Is that equal to this? These are both divisible by 3. So if I divide both of these by 3, this is equal to 4/5. So because these proportions are the same, then yes, these two are similar because of side angle side similarity. So on this one, I have 3 sides. Now you have to figure out if they're proportional. So now this is a little bit different because you have to make sure you match up your sides correctly. So when I look at this, I want to see this is my smallest length. So I would match is my smallest length, and if I look over here, this is my smallest length. I want to see if that would be equal to, I need to check all three sides. To my second smallest length, so my second smallest length is 8, and my second smallest length here would be 12. Is it proportional to my largest, which is 10? My largest over here is 15. So simplify those fractions for me. So push pause, simplify. You get all of these are proportional. So then yes, these two are going to be similar because side, 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 similarity. So now we're going to get into indirect measure. So a way to do indirect measure is if you want to measure an object, but they're really hard. So if you want to know how tall a building is, or how tall a home is, something that you might be wanting to measure, or a flagpole, or something like that, we do indirect measurement. Now, when we do indirect measurement, so if I read this, it doesn't give you information. However, I'm going to draw the picture for you. So in this picture, and when we're using the mirror, this mirror is actually creating so that this angle right here is congruent to this angle right here. And also when you talk about a cliff, or when you're talking about height, we have 90 degrees. So these two triangles that, even though you can't see, this is like the mirror, are meeting here, and I have an angle-angle similarity. So now I can set up a proportion. Now there's multiple ways you can set this up and still get it correct. So I'm going to do my height comparable to my height. So that'd be 5 over x. Now because I put the height of the person on top of the fraction, that means I need to have the shadow, or else you might think of the flooring, the horizontal 6 of the person compared to the 6 or the 34 horizontal of the cliff. And now I want to get rid of this division. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I would do 5.5 times 34 because I need to multiply that over. I get 187. Here I'd multiply this x over, so this would be 6x. If I divide both by 6, and I would get 31.2. Now my units are going to be the same units of all of these, and all of these have 32 feet. I want you to pause the video. First, try to set up a picture that might look like this. So this is kind of like my picture. Your height of your bird bath over your shadow. Shadow is horizontal. It's on the ground. Looking for the height of the tree, the horizontal 90 feet. Now, the angle of the sun will always create the same angle right here. So those two are congruent. So then these are similar by angle. So I want you to pause the video and try to set up your own proportion like this. Pause the video. So your proportion, I have height over height is equal to my shadow of my bird bath over shadow of my tree. So now if I get rid of this division, I get 225 is equal to 1.5x. If I divide that by 1.5, the height of my tree would be 150 feet. There you go. 7.3, all done. Have a great, grand, wonderful day.